What is going on, online fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money Online Training Podcast. This is the #1 show for online fitness coaches who are trying to grow a successful online business. In today's episode, I'm joined by not one, but two of the head coaches in the 10K Coaching Academy. We've got Corey Robach and Caleb Zisk. What's up, boys?
What's up, everyone? Happy friggin' Wednesday. Hope everyone's having the best day ever.
Yeah, did you just die from a cough? Was that your intro? Did you just die? Did you just die from a cough in your intro?
Yeah, swallowed some spit. Definitely went down the wrong pipe on that one. So yeah.
You want to start the podcast again? Do we want to press reset?
Nope. I'm gonna own it.
I love it. What's up, Caleb? How are you, bro?
What's up, fam? It's been a minute. I haven't been on here in a while.
Well, I know, and we've had some exciting new updates since the last time you've been on here. Hey.
Heck yeah.
So, dude, I think the last time that we came on the podcast, Caleb, I'm 99% sure that you had graduated level 2,
yeah,
and your business, I think we were celebrating your $10,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, obviously, a lot has changed.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, Corey. So a little bit of backstory. Corey was actually Caleb's head coach in level 1 for a long time, and then Caleb graduated level 1 and worked really closely with me in the 10K Mastermind. So let's do like a little bit of a backstory and talk about, Caleb coming into level 1 and working really closely with Corey, and then into his role where he is now. So who wants to go first, Caleb or Corey?
I can go. And then Corey can talk about what it was like coaching me.
Oh yeah. I got some stories. I'll tell you that.
All right, leave the bad stuff out. But no, honestly, level 1 was absolutely amazing. It feels so long ago, but realistically, it was probably 8 months ago or something like that. But I came into level 1 with no online training experience. I was an in-gym trainer. I was also managing the gym. I was head of sales. So I was ready to get out of that, just all of that stress, all of that time, and gain my life back and make more of an impact. And level 1 really helped me open up. And a lot of people are like, Caleb, like, you're doing so well right now, but I struggled for the longest time. Like level 1, Corey's probably going to say he did not talk on his story. He didn't go live. He struggled with writing content, because I seriously struggled with all of those things. Like the first month, I only had 1 client sign up. Second month, 2 or 3, but every single time I kept learning, putting forth the effort, gaining more value. And I had a huge mindset shift after like my month 3 and 4. And that's when I started to see more progress. I started to open up more. I started to actually listen to what Corey was saying. Like I was listening to it, but I wasn't processing it very well. So being able to do that helped tremendously. And that mindset shift helped me go from like 2K per month to 4 or 5. And then we took it to level 2 mastermind, and it was written from there.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, honestly, like Caleb, like you were a lot like me when you first came into the course too. Like you were working in a gym, you were managing a gym, like you were really stressed out. And I don't want to say like you were introverted in a way, because you were really talkative, but you were introverted in a way like I was, where I hated going live. I hated talking on my story. I sucked at writing content too. And it was just like when I became your head coach for level 1, I saw a lot of that, like of myself and you, man. Like that's where like me and Caleb, like we developed a connection right away, like a little bit more so than that he can. Like we'd have person chats going, stuff like that. And the biggest thing, and why this is such a big thing, because he speaks about it so much right now, is that inner critic of ours, like how we get in our own way, we get in our own heads, and we just start spiraling from there. And we had to shift this focus from I can't, or I won't, or I'm uncomfortable, to you're actually enjoying doing it. And it's just like that mindset shift. But it was just understanding kind of where we're at, and understanding it's a progression and you're learning, and you can't expect to be the best at something that you're just starting. And I use this metaphor all the time. And like, no matter what it is, the first time you do it, it's going to be very uncomfortable. First time you do it, you're probably going to F it up really, really bad. Just like riding a bike. You didn't ride a bike perfectly the first time. You leaned too far to the left, you fell. Too far to the right, you fell. Stay in the middle, you're good. And it's the same thing in understanding, like, you're going to make mistakes. And me and Brian have talked about this on previous podcasts with being open to failures. And that's where I feel like for me, myself personally, and Caleb as well, was that we had to accept that we were going to fail and be okay with it.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in because I had something like that lines up perfectly with that. And that is like, you need to be okay with sucking really bad at first. And you need to be okay with sucking really bad. Guys, we did a TikTok training on Monday inside the 10K Coaching Academy, where I literally broke down how I went from 0 to 70,000 TikTok followers in like 75 days. And some of the students in the academy like watched the training and they're like already get, like one of our clients, Kyle Johnson, got 16,000 views on one of his videos after he watched it, and he got 79 applications. But then I also got a couple messages from clients that were like, Brian, that training was really good, but like, I really suck at TikTok right now. And it's taking me like 3 hours to edit a video. And I'm like, that's good. I'm like, cause you have to be okay with sucking really bad at something at first. And the truth is, guys, I think that like when people come into the online coaching game, and they're like, so Caleb, as an example, when you joined the program, I remember the reason that you joined, and it's because your friend Mason was in my program, and Mason Mahoney was making like $8,000 to $9,000 to $10,000 a month. And I know that you guys are really close in college. So when you DM me, you were like, bro, like Mason is working with you and he's crushing it. And he says only good things about you. So you're like, I want to work with you too. And
I was sold. I was like, just tell me the price. I'm probably just gonna pay it up front anyways. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm good.
Dude, I remember I was in the airport at the time. I don't remember where I was going. I was in the airport and I was traveling. And you were like, I'm like ready, bro. You're like, I'm ready. I was like, I just told you. And back then, level one, like the 10K Academy, which is what we have now, level one was $5,000 up front. And you paid it. You're like,
right. And that was something that I stand by, is burning your boat, being all in. And like, that was emptied my bank account. But like, I was like, okay, Mason saw the results. Mason got that. I can be there in a few months. And I was like, I'm going to make this work. Otherwise I'm not going to have I'm not gonna be able to pay rent. I'm not going to have a place to sleep at night.
Yeah, you literally paid $5,000 up front. And guys, I think that like for most online trainers, when they invest in a mentor or when they're just getting their online business started, even in their first like 3 to 6 months, a lot of online trainers get into online training and they try to get rich quick. So they'll see other trainers succeeding. Like maybe as an example, you knew Mason that was at $8K a month. And a lot of online coaches will join a coaching program hoping to get to $8,000 a month because they want to get rich quick. And it's because they see other online trainers like Mason, or now it's Caleb. You're making 10 plus K a month. Like they see trainers like you and they're like, I want to make 10K a month. You know, Brian's helped 102 clients make 10K a month. So I want to be the next one. And it's like the biggest problem that we're running into, and this kind of like ties right into the podcast, is a lot of online trainers are coming into the coaching realm and they're trying to pitch every single person that they talk to. Every single one.
And it's an issue because they're not creating a relationship. They're not building an audience. And like what took it, like for me, like took it to the next level was having an audience that engaged with everything, an audience that showed up for everything, like lives, podcasts, posts. Like if you go on my Facebook, maybe not my Instagram because I do moms, like I teach moms. So like they're not on Instagram, they're on Facebook. But like my posts, my clients are there. Like they're commenting, like my audience is there commenting on everything because I planted seeds. I gave them value rather than trying to sell them. But at one point I was doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, that's a big thing that like I see all the time. And like, again, like I did it too. And that's why I see it. And it's this whole understanding. Again, like what really like helped me understand this was me literally putting myself in a real life scenario. Obviously, like a lot of you that have worked in the gym before or have done in-person type sales before, whether it's at a sales job, whatever, you got to understand this. And the thing that kind of clicked for me was like, if I were to just walk up to someone on the gym floor or even just in the middle of the street, they had no idea who I was. Even if it said personal trainer across my chest and I walked up to them and said, yo, actually, so what we're doing right now is we're actually running this special. Why don't you come work with me? I'll help you get your goals. What's ever going to happen? Like, they don't know me. They don't like me. They don't trust me. So why would I think that me just of going to approach them and be like, hey, what's up? You want to come work with me? Why would I expect them to be like, yeah, for sure. When realistically, if someone came up to you randomly in the middle of the street, you didn't know them and said, hey, what's going on? You want to pay me money? You join my program? They're going to look at you and go, not a chance. And dude, that's where planning those.
I love it. I'm gonna jump in. I want to use the same analogy that you just used to describe a scenario. So let's pretend. I know none of us want to be here, but we're gonna go to pretend land. Okay. Let's pretend we're all in gym trainers. I know. I'm sorry. I even said it. Let's pretend. Let's pretend we're all in gym trainers. And I got nothing against in gym trainers, by the way. I just obviously I'm biased towards online because I coach online trainers. Anyways, back to the metaphor. Let's pretend we're in gym trainers, and I'm walking around the gym floor. I just get a job. There's two trainers. Both of them get a job at the gym, right? The first person that gets a job at the gym meets all of the members at the gym. And within the first 30 seconds, he's like, yeah, I'm a personal trainer here, and I would love to coach you on your goals. That's trainer number one. Every single member walks up to him. Hey, I'm a personal trainer. I'd love to coach you on your goals. Hey, I'm a personal trainer. I'd love to coach you on your goals. Hey, 50 members. The second trainer meets every single member in the gym. He's like, hey, what's going on? My name's Caleb. I just wanted to introduce myself. How long have you been a member here? That's great. That's amazing. I love it. What do you like about the gym? Yeah, for me, I just moved into the area. I just got a job at the gym here. And I love it. I just wanted to get to know everybody that's kind of here. So I just wanted to say hi. And then every single day, trainer number two goes up to people, says, hey, how's your day going? Just checking in. How's your workout? That's amazing. Eventually, over time, what's going to happen is nobody's going to want to talk to trainer number one because they know that every single time they talk to him, he's just going to try to sell them. So they're going to not even acknowledge that he exists or that he's alive because they know it's going to be this person trying to sell somebody. And eventually over time, people are going to ask to work with trainer number two because they're like, I just really like you. Super friendly. Like you're super open. You're easy to talk to. And I've got some fitness goals and I need some help. And I really don't want to work with that guy because he's always trying to sell me something. And I would rather work with you because you're just super friendly all the time.
Yeah, straight up. And again, with that too, like you just looking at it, like just from like now you brought it up, just being on the gym floor, because that happened all the time. Like I'd see trainers literally go up to people like, oh, you're like this, and say, come work with them. And they would always be like, well, I can't get sales, I can't get clients and whatever. But then there was me, even though like I was like, let's say when I first went to the World Health Club on McLeod, when I transferred from the other World Health Club, I was the most busy trainer within 2 months there. Even though I never tried to sell anyone, but what I did is I introduced myself. And then I'd also go around and I'd wipe shit up. I'd clean stuff. If I saw someone struggling, I'd just start spotting them. If I saw someone really messing something up, I'd be like, yo, I love that exercise. Can I just give you one little tip here just to make it that much better? And leave it. Man, like I gave my value and I left. I didn't give value and said, okay, now that I gave you something, give me something back. That's not the point. And all these trainers, they would try to mimic me, but they would forget the key step, which is don't try to sell someone every time you talk to them, because now every time they would approach the same member would be very low talking, didn't really answer. The demeanor wasn't there. There's no energy there. But then when I would go, they would dab me up, give me a hug, fuck around, joke around with me and all that stuff. And then they would come and approach me being like, yo, Corey, I saw what you did with your client over there. Can you help me out over here? Because again, now it's that fishbowl effect. Because I went up, introduced myself, gave a little bit of value and left it. What it does is it now pulls people to your page.
Yes.
And when it pulls people to your page, that's now where they go read your posts. They go watch your reels. They go watch your story. Because now you're in that fishbowl effect. And even though you might not be necessarily specifically talking to that person at the time, their eyes are on you because you've been able to give them that value. And now you gave them time to digest your content, watch your story, see your like, trust, and respect you. And then now it's when you go and DM them again, be like, yo, Brian, what's up, my man? I saw you liked my post. What was it that you liked about it? You're going to be a lot more open to talking to me about it and transition. Or you think like, oh man, like you have that moment where you're like, I really need to get help. I can't do this. Who's the first person you think is going to think of it? They're going to go think of you because you weren't that pushy salesperson, but you also focused on strictly giving value. And that's why now you are the number one person they think of when they think of their fitness goals.
I love it. 100%. And going off that, it's like you want to make a connection with them, not by just giving them facts. Like Corey talked about going down your newsfeed and having them commenting on it. Like Brian says this all the time. Facts tell, stories sell. Like give value, talk about your life, tell people what's going on. Like I feel like my audience knows so much about me because I'm always talking about what's going on in my life right now.
I love that you said that. So I think, guys, so marketing fundamental, marketing truth, like one-on-one is, in order for people to work with you, they need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And you can't rush that process. Like, I'm sure, and here's the perfect example of that. You can't rush the process. Have any of you guys ever been, interested in dating somebody, and then maybe you came on a little too strong, a little too fast, and you scared them off and they backed off? You know what I'm talking about? Like, that same thing happens with your prospects. So if you are just getting to know somebody, let's say somebody comes into your network for the first time, and they are, they come into your network and they start liking your content. And as soon as they sniff your photo, you send them a message and you're like, hey, I just want to say thanks so much for liking my photo. I'm actually accepting 5 online clients right now, and you look like you could use some help. Can I help you? I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? But so, right? They're like, never again. No, thanks. So I think that, like, when it comes to lead gen, like, in order for people to work with you, they need to know you, like you, and trust you. And I'm not saying that you need to sit there and do nothing, because I think when it comes to lead gen, we've got 2 different types of I think there's 2 different like extremes of lead gen. Okay. The one extreme is that, like, there's a lot of you guys that won't ever message somebody ever because you're afraid of being salesy. And so you're just sitting there hoping that people are going to message you. You're hoping that people are going to reach out to you because you, like, are really afraid to message people. And you're like, I don't want to be salesy. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is, there's some of you guys that are like cold DMing 100 people a day, and you're trying to sell every single human that you talk to. And that's why nobody's engaging with your content, because they know as soon as they like one of your photos, they know that you're coming with a pitch. So they're not even interested. And I think generating leads for your coaching business needs to be like a middle ground. And it's like, for me, when I'm sending out messages to people that are engaging with my content, I'm genuinely interested in, like, thanking them. I'm like, yo, I just want to say, like, thank you for taking the time to read my post today and supporting my content. I appreciate you so much. Like, I actually mean that. And then out of the people that I message, there's going to be some people that are like, yo, B-Mark, I like love your content. I've been watching your videos. I'm super engaged with, I like love the stuff you're putting out. And like, it's just super dope. Also, another thing I want to talk about now. So, like, that's lead gen. It's like finding the middle ground. Why do you guys think I go live 5 times a week? And I do 5 podcasts a week, and I post 5 times a week, and I'm on TikTok 3 times. Why do you guys think I put out all this content? Corey, you want to go?
Yeah. Well, so you're relative, because, like, I always like think of it like, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. So if you're not being consistent with your posting, you're not going on your story, you're not showing your face, well, guess what? If you're not there in front of them, guess what? They're not thinking about you. If you're out of sight, you're out of mind. That's why we say go on your story every 2 to 3 hours. Keep it fresh, up to date. Post 5 to 7 times a week. We're not telling you to post 5 to 7 times a week because we want you giving out 5 to 7 times value every week. We're telling you to post so that way you can give that value, but also be relative and be within their vision for when they think of their goals. Because if you're posting 2 to 3 times a week, well, there's 4 other days, billions of pieces of content are being produced, and you're not being seen.
Yeah.
And then you post 1 time and you don't really go on your story. Well, now again, you may have posted, but now you're up there for maybe 5 hours at the top of a feed, and then you're buried by everything else. And then no one's going to your page because we're not on our story. We're not going live. You're not posting your TikTok to drive more traffic to your pages. Like, there's so many things that all these tie into, and consistency is meant for, not for you to build and develop habits, but consistency so that way you can be more relative in the eyes of your audience.
It's just, I think it comes from entitlement, dude. Like, I think that when people start their online coaching business, they think that they're entitled to clients because they've got a certification, or they think that they're entitled to clients because they've got more followers than everybody else, or they think that they're entitled to clients because they made 3 posts on social media per week for the last 4 weeks. And they're like, why is nobody working with me? It's like, the reason nobody's working with you is because you've got dudes like Caleb. Caleb, can you tell people your posting schedule right now? What are you doing right now?
Yeah, not a problem. Let me say this. I had something that popped into my mind. If you're an online trainer or you're an in-gym trainer, you're not entitled to, the only thing you're entitled to is changing lives, because that is your job.
Oh,
and that
say that one more time.
No, if you're an in-gym trainer or an online trainer, you are entitled to changing lives. Like, that is the one thing you have a responsibility to do.
Boom.
That is it.
We've got a microphone. I could just do
Boom.
that.
I love how you just like slowly rolled through that. I'm like, no.
And the more you give, the more you're going to get back. If you put positive energy in the universe, you're going to get positive energy back. If you put wins in the universe, you're going to get wins back. If you change lives, in this case, you're going to get money back. That's why this podcast is called Change Lives, Make Money.
Preach.
Now,
Woo!
I'm notorious for doing what Brian does. Like, that is what I'm known for. But success leaves trails, guys. Like, I do everything. So, like, for myself, Monday through Friday, I post a podcast. Monday through Friday, I go live on Facebook, and that's not my podcast. Like, I do a different live inside my free community. I post Monday through Friday on Facebook and Instagram. I post on TikTok 2 times a day. Well, we actually have 2 accounts on TikTok. So technically we're posting 5 times a day on TikTok. We are going live in my tribe. We have a live Sunday through Thursday. Like, I literally do what Brian does because success leaves trail. And I want to create a relationship. And I tell this to my clients, and something shifted for, like, if you guys are an online trainer right now and you guys have an audience that's your tribe, like your members, like, I told them, I was like, guys, like, I'm shifting, like, I'm focusing on giving you guys, like, every single time I go live, I'm like, how can I give more to you guys? Like, what am I struggling with? Like, the other day, some of my clients were struggling with nutrition. I went live and I said, I'm taking extreme ownership for this. Like, I realized that I know, like, some people could put more effort in, but I'm taking extreme ownership and saying that I wasn't there for you 100% of the time. So right now, starting 2 weeks ago, we have 100 clients. So we spend 2 hours in Trainerize looking at their nutrition and workouts, and we're messaging them every single day based off what they're eating. So that's us taking extreme ownership and stepping up. But, like, our clients love that fact that now that we're just taking extreme ownership, but, like, that they know, and, like, something I've been posting inside my tribe, my intention is to serve you today. Like, my number 1 intention today is to change your life. Like, I tell them that daily.
Boom! Just raise fire on the podcast.
I knew it was going to come out at one time. I just didn't know when it was going to come.
And then Corey takes his shirt off. You guys,
I know.
You guys that are listening to the podcast, you can't see, but Corey just took his shirt off and he's got his tank top on, his jacked arms all out.
I'm hot in my house. Leave me alone. I'm sweating here. Come on.
He's like, Caleb's flexing on the podcast right now. I got to flex too.
Word to that.
There you go. There's a flex for you. No.
Yo, guys, I think that, like, it's so important because, like, okay, here's the thing, right? Caleb, you made $12,000 last month, right?
Yes. Last 6. So we completely changed our platform. Right. We went to high ticket to low ticket. We worked our way back up from $3,000 per 6-week challenge now to $12,000 per 6-week challenge. Okay. But we're launching a membership area to just skyrocket that.
Okay. So $12,000 Caleb made last month. Okay. So for those of you guys that are listening to the podcast, a lot of you see the activity that I do and you're like, there's no fucking way I'll be able to do that. There's, like, a lot of you guys see me posting on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, YouTube, all of it, right? Like, I'm on every platform, every single. The only one that I'm not on yet is Clubhouse, and I'm thinking about it. But I don't know if I can invest so much time listening to other people's voices. But, you know, that's besides the point. But I'm on every single platform, and a lot of you guys see that activity and you're like, that's cool, I respect that, but I don't know if I can do that. Caleb fucking does it. So, and we're not even saying that you need to produce content at that level, but if you want to generate more leads for your coaching business and you want to get your business to $10,000 a month, then it's highly recommended that you're more active on these platforms and that you spend more time producing content to change people's lives and you spend less time engaging in DMs wondering why people aren't purchasing off of you. Because here's what's going to happen, right? Like, if you're going out there and every single person that sniffs your photo, you're like, I'm going to book a call with them and they're going to buy something off of me, right? Here's what's going to happen. Less people are going to engage with your content because they know that you're in it for the wrong reasons. You're going to struggle to book calls because people can smell that your intention is to sell them. And then you're going to get frustrated that nobody's booking calls. And you're going to say, fuck it. There's no point in producing content because nobody's booking calls anybody. Has anybody ever been there? Like, what's content?
Me too.
Nobody's booking calls anyway. So I don't know why I'm producing content. But the reason that nobody's booking calls is because you're trying to sell every person that likes your photo. So you've got to come at it with the intention of giving. We've got 3 rules for you guys. Here's what to do and here's what not to do. We've got 3 rules for you guys. Number 1, be the honey, not the bee. We've talked about this on a previous podcast. And guys, for me, this is like, everything. Like, be the honey, not the bee. It's like, go out there and produce content that causes people to come in. And I know that Caleb talking about the amount of content that he produces might intimidate you, but like, you don't even have to do that. If you posted one TikTok a day and you posted one Instagram post a day and on Facebook and you were active on your stories, guaranteed that would solve 80% of your problems.
100%.
Right? Number 2, and this is, I want to talk about sending out messages to build relationships and not to sell people. Corey, you want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, so this is going to be one of the biggest things that I see inside the academy, especially for a lot of the newer coaches. And this is, again, where I fell into that as well. And Brian brought it up earlier. Just because you post on your social media, or Caleb brought up, just because you post on your social media, no one cares. Here's the thing. I was an in-person trainer for 8 years. I went to school for kinesiology. I helped hundreds of people in the gym to change their lives. Then I quit. I dove in, burnt my bridges at the gym. I posted online and said I'm an online coach. No one reached out. Then I went, not a single. I think the first month I made like $800 because one person I sold, I had to deal with a hater about it. We'll put a pin in that, but that I had to refund that person. But again, I only made $800. The next month, I think I made $1,000. The next month, I made, I think, the exact same. But the whole idea was this was my problem, and it didn't really click for me because I was so used to in person, and like just me being able to talk and all that. It's a completely different world. So when I would go out and I would do exactly what I said that I was messing up with, going out and just asking people to work with me without creating those relationships, without going just to say hi, say what's up, say something about their page, being able to, again, plant that seed to pull them into my profile and give them a chance to digest what I'm doing. We always talk about this in the academy with your social media. You want to look at it as an ATM, like a bank account. And as you give value, connection, proof on your stories and you're pumping out content, you're depositing. But you also got to look at it is, yes, you are depositing inside your social media, but that doesn't mean you've invested enough in each individual person to now go and lead gen them. So you might be sitting there, oh, I've been consistently posting 3 to 5 times a week, going on my story. I post a TikTok and a reel, but no one seems to actually want to come work. Well, here, I'm going to ask you this then. Do you give them enough time, enough attention, and enough nurturing to plant that seed and let it sprout before you go and try to pluck it out?
And have you been consistent with it for 6 months?
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing is you need to be consistent with that. And that's another thing why I also talk about this is I never, ever, ever waited for people to come to me because realistically, it's not going to happen. The only time people are going to come, and it's kind of crappy when you think of it, but the only time people are going to actually start asking you for help is when you don't need them to ask you for help because you're already so busy. That's when people are going to actually start coming to ask you. No one's going to come and ask you when you just get started and when you're just building your business because, again, you're irrelevant. Whether you're an in-person trainer or been in the fitness industry for 10 plus years, if you're brand new to online, you're irrelevant.
I want you guys to imagine that there's like a ceiling that you need to break through as a new online coach, right? So when you're generating leads, there's like a ceiling. And the ceiling is that like you haven't given enough value. So there's like, and I don't know what that ceiling actually is or where it is, but the ceiling is you haven't given enough value. And then there's a ceiling where you've given more than enough and leads start coming to you. Out of curiosity, if you're listening to the podcast right now, I want to know, do you feel like you're at a point where you're like getting, let's say 5 to 10 messages a week being like, yo, like, I love your content. Like you're putting out some high quality content. I've been following you for a while. And like, I really engage with your message. So like, that's the ceiling that we're trying to get through. Right. But most of you guys, what will happen is you'll post content consistently and then it'll kind of like drop off because you'll get demotivated that you're not getting enough sales, but then you'll get back and you'll post consistently and then it'll drop off. But like, guys, you will get to a point in your content creation once you break through the ceiling where you'll get more incoming leads than you need to lead gen. You will get to that point.
Yes, 1,000%.
But you need to break through the ceiling. But most of you guys will approach the ceiling and then you're like, oh, it's not working. And then you drop off. And you approach the ceiling, you're like, oh, fuck, it's not working. And then you drop off. But like, guys, you will get to a point where you get more people messaging you than you can actually handle. It's like you're getting more incoming leads than you're having to lead gen. But you need to break through that ceiling. You need to be consistent with your content.
Yeah,
Guys, I've been at it for 16 months as an online trainer, and I'm just breaking it. So, like, you can't give up. You got to keep planting the seeds. You got to keep putting content out there.
Yeah, guys, it took me a year for people to start like messaging me just saying that they love my content. It took me 2.5 years. So where I am, no, okay, maybe just under 2.5 years, but where I am today, where if you go on, like I showed this to Brian, but I'll take screenshots of my comments on my TikToks, and that's where literally lead after lead after lead, and I just screenshot it, throw it in, and be like, people should go lead gen. But that's the thing is I've been so consistent and progressing my content for so long that it took me this amount of time to get to this point where if I wanted just to start doing my fitness and do that, I could go sign up 30 people right now because they're asking. But again, it took me that much time, that much consistency, that much improvement to get to that point. Guys, I dare you, go read one of my first posts I wrote compared to today.
Yeah, and another thing I'm going to jump in and like, guys, this isn't saying that like it's going to take you a year to sign a client. That's not what we're saying at all. What we are saying is like, you're going to put out content. And I know that there's if you're listening to the podcast right now, have you ever signed one client before? It's likely that you have, right? So you put out content and you sign one client. When you are lucky enough to get the opportunity where somebody reaches out to you or you reach out to them and they pay you for their coaching, that's a blessing. Number one, that's a gift, right? But so many people like forget that they have the gift of changing some person's life. And they're like, okay, I'm making, $2K a month right now, but I'm fucking not making 10K and it's pissing me off. And so I'm going to go lead gen until I hit 10. It's like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but you have to understand that like, you'll get there if you keep going. But the only way that you're going to get there is when you come at it with the intention of like, I'm going to change as many people's lives as I possibly can today. And for those people that have made the decision to invest in me as their coach, like I'm going to fucking give them everything that I have every single day so that I can get those transformations and I can use those social proof for my social media. And I just get the gift of actually changing people's lives. Like it's going to happen at the rate it's supposed to. So stop trying to rush the process. Right. And like some of you guys that are listening to this podcast are going to hit 10K in your third month. Like one of my clients, I talked to him on the podcast yesterday. His name's Arsh, 10K in his first 3 months. Dominic Monson, same thing. But like not everybody gets there that quick. Sometimes it takes, I think it took Caleb like 7 or 8 months.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was consistency, right? It's like every month he got a little bit better and a little bit better. And I see some clients in the 10K Academy, like Mackenzie Grace is one that comes to mind where like, she's like slowly but surely, she keeps getting better and better over time, but you can't rush the process.
Right. If I see someone in the academy make a post, say they hit a record month, I'm like, okay, do the exact same thing. Like, don't change anything because if you keep doing it, you're going to hit another record month and eventually you're just going to keep putting more value out there. You're going to keep growing. You're going to make more of an impact. You're going to make more money.
I love it.
And like what I really like, again, like I love the fact that we have tangible goals where we can put numbers on it that we push towards. But the thing that really switched the gear for me, that really propelled me not only into 10K, but 15, 20, 25, was the mindset shift that I stopped caring about making money. Because here's why. If all you care about is making money, you come off thirsty. You come off chasing. You come off very, very strong. Where if you focus on changing someone's life, that's where now your passion is actually going to go there. You're actually more intentional. You're more focused. You're a lot more authentic in your processes. How many times have we seen people in the academy or people we just talked to saying, I don't want to go approach people because I just don't want to seem inauthentic. Well, because all you're thinking about is when can I get money from them, opposed to how can I change their life.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. And guys, I'm going to bring up somebody else that we brought on the podcast before that's a legend, and it's Chad Morgan. And guess what the name of – so Chad Morgan's hit $64,000 in a single month, and guess what his number one focus is? He talks about every single day he focuses on impact over income. That's right. Impact over income. And Chad Morgan is one of the – I don't know how many of you guys have tuned into one of Chad Morgan's lives, but tuning into one of Chad Morgan's lives is like literally getting a battery plugged into you. It's like, zzz, like this dude like – charges you, and it's because he shows up with the intention to impact your life. And when he does that every single day for 365 days a year, it's like people like tune into his content and they're like, damn, like this is it. So guys, be the honey not to be. Send out messages to build relationships, and like Corey said, don't go into the DMs like looking to make money. Like go into the DMs with the intention of changing people's lives. And yes, you should send out messages every single day to people that are engaging with your content, but the intention should be to build a relationship. And I don't think you should send out 100. I think you should send out 10 to 20 just to start conversations and just be like, hey, I just want to say, like, thank you for engaging with my content and being on my social media. I appreciate you. And sometimes like engaging and networking as well, guys, and building those relationships in your network doesn't mean just DMing them. Why don't you spend some time on your social media? If there's somebody that's like engaging with your content all the time, why don't you go to their page and like a couple of their photos? Why don't
I do this every day.
Caleb, can you say that one more time?
I do this every single day. Like if I add a friend, that friend, I go to their page and I comment on 2 to 3 things before I even send a message.
You know, and another thing that I really did too that really, really impacted my following and really like solidified a relationship right off the bat was when I would see someone follow me, I would go follow them back, like a couple photos. Then I would send them a voice note. Hey, Brian, I just wanted to say thank you so much for following me, my man. I really appreciate that. I love the support. And I just appreciate you. Have the best day ever. That's it. That's it. And before I said that, I had another thought come into my head with the intention on changing someone's life. So when you guys go to the DMs, you guys are wanting to help people, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So think of it this way. If you see someone walking across the street, like let's say someone has a bunch of groceries, has a lot of struggles walking to the car. You go up to them and you offer help to carry the groceries. Are you going to say, I'm only going to carry your groceries if you pay me? No, you're going to carry the groceries. And you're going to go put them in their car and say, hope you have a great day. Goodbye. That has a lot more impact than anything that you can do. Because the other thing is as well is you're not looking for a reward for helping people. And people see that. Where if you look for a reward for helping people, they hate you. Because you're supposed to help because you generally want to help. Not because you want to help to get paid. When you help because you generally want to help, people are going to seek to pay you, not you seeking them to pay you.
Because you're just being a good human. I love that.
Yeah, we even did a training like that in the academy, like the do something good training. And I think that week when people just really focus on just doing something good was one of the record weeks we had in just booms in our community.
Okay, I want everyone to write this down if you're listening to this podcast right now. I'm going to spend this week helping people, not selling people.
Woo!
I want everyone to write that down. I'm going to spend this week helping people, not selling people. That's it.
I was really about to drop my phone like that, but I was like, wait, I don't want to break the screen.
Boom! We're trying to get mic drop moments on the podcast. I'm going to spend this week helping people, not selling people. And like Caleb would say, mic drop. That's it.
Let's go.
Preach a man.
Guys, that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Change Lives Make Money Online Trainer podcast, the #1 show for online fitness coaches who are trying to grow successful online business. Corey, where do they find you?
Yo, you guys can find me on Instagram at Corey_Roblox or on TikTok at Tatted and Jab.
And Caleb, where do they find you, bro? Plug the
From
potty. Plug the potty.
Fitness podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcast app.
From the Ashes Fitness podcast on the Spotify or podcast app, right?
It's straight motivation. I don't do any nutrition or exercise, just straight mindset and motivation.
Boom. Guys, that's it. That's all. Hope you guys have the best day of your entire life, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.